Bam! What is up with the squad? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies back in the building. Back like I never left, but really back this time for something different. Cess Talk Sports Book Club is back, is back. So tonight is our first night of talking Uncommon Favor, by Dawn Staley. If you haven't got your copy already, what are you waiting for? And really, I just wanted to come up. I've read the first chapter. I asked people to just read the first chapter. I wanted to get my hands on a book, see what the chapters were like, and then get a feel for just how we wanted to read the book back and just figure that out. But just I'm so glad to have a book. I'm so glad to have a book in my hand now. I'm glad that Drip decided to do this. Y'all let me know in the chat too. If you started reading the book already. Your thoughts on the book. Um, how you want to attack reading it. If you guys want to just read it all the way through and then do a live show where we just kind of talk about the whole book, or if you want to talk about it in segments. When we did Asia's book, I think we did it in like 3 chapters. At a time, so we can figure that out. But I'm glad to have a book in my hand because it's always good to kind of hear a person's story. I love a true story. I love a biography, and then I love for somebody to tell me their story from their perspective, especially when it's parts when their life is stuff that I've watched, right, from the sidelines, right, and had my own opinions about what they were thinking, what they thought, why they did this. But I was surprised in this book with Drip, just in her kind of talking about uh the beginning of her life, right? Her parents, her upbringing. I was surprised that it was nothing like probably what I had thought it was. Um, but I could relate to it. I could relate to a lot of it. So I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the book from that perspective. But it was the parts that I could relate to. I definitely I definitely understood already how important Philadelphia was to Drip. I definitely understood how important basketball was. I've just recently been kind of starting to understand and get an idea of how important her mom, like her family. I knew her family was important to her, but just how much of a supporter her mom was. Um, and that is cool. It's cool kind of getting to see that part. But it's also cool to just kind of see, like, with a lot of the stuff that I thought that I knew about Drip, or that I assumed, and watching how she moves, or what her track record shows for how she moves, just come just kind of be confirmed, and it's really cool. So I'm kind of reading the book and letting Drip do some of the audible, listening to some of the audible, and then doing some of the reading myself. So I have had a chance to kind of really hear it from Drip's own mouth. If for lack of a better way of saying it, and I'm enjoying the book so far. So um, what I thought, I think what I thought, just what I'm saying, on the outside looking in, I thought that Drip was probably one of those kids whose dad was really, really, really supportive of her playing basketball, and her mom was probably the one that was like, I don't know, girl growing up to play basketball. Because that was my experience. My dad was really pro hoop. My mom was like, basketball, ain't no money being made in basketball by women. You better get an education. You better know something different. So to read this first chapter and see that it was like the exact opposite. Her mom was the one that was like, Drip talks about not being a rule breaker, and you could tell from the way that she moves. She's not a rule breaker. She doesn't look to be the rebel of the cause. She kind of does things by the book, but speaks up for herself and fights for herself in a way that you can understand from the first chapter. Is comes basically just from her being the youngest, and then her having siblings that were, years older than her. They're not, for lack of a better, they're not stair step kids like some households may be used to. Okay, so Grace Sweater, you read the first 2 chapters. Okay, so tell me what you thought about the first 2 chapters. I'm going to continue reading now. I think. Let me see real quick. I wanted to double check the table of contents, because I think especially, and I think a lot of people are doing like uh listening to the Audible. I think the Audible book only takes like 8 hours to listen to. When I was doing my research on that, if you're just gonna listen to the Audible, and then if you are like reading the book, it'll be at your own pace. You really enjoying it? Was it what has surprised you the most so far about the book? For me, it's like I was saying, the relationship with Pop as far as with their father as far as like basketball goes. I feel like I've listened to so many interviews that I've heard some stories. Okay, so I haven't gotten into chapter 2 yet. So a lot of this stuff was new for me. Her talking about her talking about her relationship with her siblings. And having to take, being the youngest. So it wasn't a lot of stuff that was new, right? Like you had older brothers and sisters, that stuff got passed down to you. Like you said, it was a fight for everything. Growing up in the projects, in the situation where other people are looking at you like you poor, and you looking like, man, we living pretty good over here. We ain't in the high rises. Um, I appreciate you, Bree Wayne. Um, we don't live in the high rises. We're across the court in the row houses. Like we living good over here. Lawns is manicured and everything. Not knowing that there's a whole nother part of the city that's looking down on you. But when she was talking about just like the fighting to eat, being the youngest, her brother's being her brother being in charge, her brother, you know, keeping her in her place. You know what I'm saying? Not beating her up. Just sibling kind of fights. But like she said, the one thing she said was like one thing that she cherished was a clean pair of white socks. And she was saying in the story in the book that like this is one of the things that stuck out for me because it's not I love a clean pair of white socks. Not for the same reason that Drip does. I just feel like you get a new pair of shoes, you're supposed to put a new pair of socks on with them. So I've always been a new fresh pair of sock kind of person. So to hear her talk about living in this house with older brothers and sisters and then having to wear just whatever socks was there. She was like, boys wear their socks till they crunchy. They don't got a match. They can be dirty at the bottom. She'll fight you hard about a brand new pair of socks. And that just was like, I could see that. I could see that. But you could tell that by the way that she's meticulous about the way she puts together her outfits. Like you can see some of those things in just who she is. So I'm excited to get ready to read the rest of the book, and start hearing, some of you guys' takes on the book. So I think last time we pretty much talked about it on Sundays. I'm down to kind of still just talk about the book on Sundays. I'll do it the same way I did it last time. If people want to, if you want to come up, if you want to come up and talk about the book, you're always welcome to come up and talk. If you want to just kind of put comments in the chat, we can do comments in the chat, and we can also do some talking in the mansion, in the actually in the book club room. If you got questions or comments and stuff you want to make about the book as you're reading it, I just think it's a cool thing to be able to kind of share with other people that follow Dawn, follow the Gamecocks, support the Gamecocks, support Dawn as a coach, support Dawn as a player, support Dawn just as a dream merchant, a leader, a walking piece of history. To be able to have this conversation. So the book is like, I think they said like 256 pages. It's not a hard read at all. So I would like to read kind of like, I don't know, the next 4 chapters and talk about it. But y'all can let me know. I'll put up a poll and see if that works for everybody. You can already see why she appreciates clothes and style. Oh yeah, you can see that from you can see that why she appreciates clothes and style. Why she you can also appreciate why she respects like hard work, and just kind of putting your nose down and going to work. Um, why she loves why she loves family, because like she talks about like the challenges of being there, but she also talks about like, that support system. Like they all made her what she is. I'm excited to read this with you. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. So are you reading the book or are you doing the Audible, Gray Sweater? Let me know. I wanted to see. table of contents real quick. I should have looked at this. My bad. Because I don't want to drag the conversation out around the book either. 4 chapters sounds good. Yeah, I'm gonna say 4 chapters, and I, some people will catch this on the rewatch and they'll make their comments later. Those of y'all on the rewatch, let us know if 4 chapters works. Um, I think 4 chapters at a time. I think we should be able to kind of get through the book probably in like, three or four meetings at the most. Okay, you reading? Okay. Um, I wanted to see how many chapters, but I have to grab it. Oh yeah, it reads exactly like she speaks. It's very easy to follow. It's super easy to follow. 1 second. 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so we got like 13 lessons. I think we got 13 lessons that we got to get through. So if we can be through lesson 4, then we'll go through lesson 8, and then we'll just finish it off. So I think that's a good pace. So 4 chapters, and I don't know if we want to meet every week or every other week, but we should be able to get it done within within three. I think within 3 meetings, and then we could pick the next book. I want to like I'm really bringing the Cess Talk Sports book club back. and I want to make sure that we keep it going. What up, MJ? Just talking a little bit of the first chapter from Big Drip's book. Wanted to get the first live done. See what people are thinking about the first chapter. Um, give my thoughts about the first chapter. Just talk about how excited I am about reading the book, and then figuring out how we read it from here. How we read it from here. That's all. That's all. Not a long live at all. Just a quick one to come up. Get some timelines and framework around how we're doing the thing. But I'm glad that she wrote the book at this time. I'm glad that she wrote the book at this time because it's such a powerful time in women's hoops. Like she said, she needed to tell some of these stories before she forgot them. But with as much as she shares with us, like from a basketball perspective, from seeing her on the sidelines, from the calls that she does, from the interviews that she does, from what players share about her, it's still so much that we just really just don't know about Coach Staley. So just being able to kind of just hear from her how her life went, I can't wait to hear like what her basketball journey was like, going overseas, playing in the WNBA, and then her. I saw on one of the interviews she talked about you waiting for delivery. Okay, Missy, she talked on one of the interviews about like being in her prime. Like I don't know if people realize that when she started actually coaching, she was still like in the prime of her basketball career. And I think she said she did it for like 6 years. 6 years, like she's wearing this dual hat where she's hooping during the day and then coaching and recruiting and learning and kind of grinding in this other space. That she said she never really wanted to be a part of. She never really saw herself as a part of it. So shout out to the gentleman at Temple that was like, hey, that challenged her. I think that was another thing that I learned. Like she said, she's really driven by persistence and challenges. Like if you keep at her about something, you keep at her about something, you keep at her about something, it's hard for her to turn down that persistence. And it's hard for her to turn down the challenge. And I think that shows up in how she attacks coaching. I think that shows up in how she attacks just building the relationships with her players, um, and going after national championships. She likes the challenge of that. Okay, so y'all say I can't do it now because I don't have 6'7". Y'all say I can't do it now because Raymond's not a point guard. Y'all say I can't do it now because I don't develop guards. Um, I was also surprised to hear her say, how much of social media and what people say she actually hears and takes in. Like she hears it all. She takes it all in. Um, which I guess I didn't expect. I know that she engages in social media, but I didn't realize that she hears so much of what people say. So I hate that because people say so much negative shit about her on a regular basis that just made me feel like, yo, it's even more important that we keep amplifying her story and calling out all of the good that she does for women's hoops. That's super important. Gracias. Um, um, Other than that, in the book, I think what are some of the things that I'm excited? Some of the other parts of the book that I'm looking forward to reading. Of course, where she talks about Lay in the book. Um, but I think it's that period from when she stopped playing basketball to when she really was just like full time coaching. And definitely, I'm looking forward to learning as much as I can about when she was in pursuit of that first national championship and what that meant and how that set the tone for how she attacked everything after that. Because I think that's an important piece of the foundation that we get at the foundation and the standards that we get at South Carolina. Uh, but this first chapter was just about the disciplined person being able to do anything. And I think that that's true. You know, if you set your mind to something, if you stay true to something, um, it's nothing that you can't really that you can't accomplish. If you stay disciplined at something, and I think the fact that she is, you know, a multinational champion, and again a walking piece of history because she's the only uh black person, male or female, to be able to do it multiple times speaks to like how disciplined and how regimented like her lifestyle and her approach every day has to be. Um, from you know putting on all of the necklaces that have been made for her, the bracelets that have been made for her, remembering each of the stories behind those things, like just I think the genuineness of who she is what draws people in, and that kind of came out for me in this first chapter. Let me see. Did anything was there anything that reminded you of your own story, or that really resonated with you, or that you could relate to, um, or a line that really stuck out to you? So far, I think it not so far for me. Just we still right in the beginning stages of the book, so it's nothing that's really stood out so far. But I'm ready to get into the rest of the chapters. But I purposely didn't go past chapter one because I didn't want to be talking past where people were at. So now that I know that we're going to go up to chapter four, I'm really looking forward to getting into the book tonight, and getting those chapters read. Uh, and so for the next meeting, I will highlight some actual parts of the book that have jumped out for me, that we could talk about. And then if you guys have portions of the book that you want to come up and talk about, that's cool. Or portions of the book that you want to share, that you want to highlight to me to be able to use as talking points in the discussion, let me know. But this is, I mean, it's called Cess Talk Sports Book Club, but this is for the community. You the youngest person in your family too? So, and that's interesting, Grace Sweater, because I'm the oldest. So to hear her perspective as the youngest was interesting. It did make me want to ask my brother some questions like, "Yo, did you feel like that as the youngest? Did you feel like that as the youngest?" We didn't necessarily have to pass things down, so it wouldn't be it wouldn't be a conversation from there. But like, did they feel pressure? Did they feel pressure because of kind of the way that I was maybe finding success as a student? Did they feel pressure to be successful as a student? Did they feel pressure to kind of do the same things that I did, or listen to me? Or did they feel, did he feel um, less heard? You know what I mean? I just, as the oldest, I don't think you ever really think about that from that perspective. Real Karate Field, what's up, fam? Let me know how you liking the book. If y'all coming in here, as you coming in, hit the like, hit the share. Let them know that we having this conversation. This is just the first of, I think we said we're gonna do 3 more of these, to get to the end of the book. So let's get some folks into the conversation. We got 30 in the chat right now. I think Sundays pretty much work pretty good for me. If not Sunday, it'll be like Mondays. Um, when I'll come up and have the talk, and I know some of y'all will be able to join live. Some of y'all, a lot of you guys, will be like rewatches, but I will be better, especially on the book club shows, to go back and really trying to get in the comments, and continue to drive the conversation there. So let me see, before you ready to get out of here, was anything else I wanted to talk about? Um no, I think this first chapter was just really like Dawn's upbringing and like early influences, what that uncommon favor looked like early in her life. And I think it was the uncommon favor that she had early in her life was just like the family support, um, and the community around her, because they were all pouring into her in different ways, um, that I think helped shape who she is right now. But she started off, sharing moments of struggle, doubt, how her faith shapes who she is. So yeah, Missy, on the next meeting we'll cover we'll talk up to chapter 4. We'll talk up to chapter 4. But today so far I just read chapter 1. I wanted to kind of check in and see kind of where people were at, if they had their books, seeing how many people this time right here works for, making sure that people, if you're not in the mansion already, but you want to be able to kind of participate in the discussion in the mansion chat, make sure you email me. I'm dropping the email now. Email me so we make sure we get you the link over so that you can participate and get in the conversation. But this is just another way for this community overall to engage and keep the conversation around. um I already mentioned about you doing the book club. Oh, thank you, Miracle Rider. Thank you. Yeah, this is just another way to for the community to engage. Like we watch games, we debate, we argue, we troll, we crack jokes, we have fun. But this is just another way for engaging. We read Asia's book last year. We read Asia's book last year. We were gonna read BG's book. We didn't get to that one. Dawn's book dropped, and I just felt like as this with this being a Gamecock space, that was the best book to read, crank the book club back up with. And so I think we'll double back and read BG's book. BG's book is interesting. Will be an interesting read for me because of the different BG that I'm seeing in Atlanta now. So I have some interest there. But with Dawn's book, we're gonna we'll try to do 30. I'll try to do 30 to 45 minutes. If we need to go to an hour for the discussion, we can try to do 30 to 45 minutes for those sessions. Uh, I'll have some questions. I have some passages, and then it's just kind of like a conversation. Whatever the chat wants to talk about. I'm not sure where the book is gonna go from here. But you all are invited to. If you want to share via video, shoot a video and have me share your video. That's fine. If you want to come up, and when you come up, you don't have to show your face. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to show your face. If you just want to come up and kind of talk and share your thoughts, that's cool. But this is just a safe space to have a conversation around the book. Um, what we learned, what we liked. I see people saying in response to the book that they laughed, they cried, it made them think, it made them reflect, it made them, you know, reflect, go tell a loved one, go tell a loved one that you love them. So it's just this I guess these emotions that we're gonna go through that I'm looking forward to see what comes out of the book. So I appreciate y'all pulling up and getting this thing started. Um, I'm gonna put up a community poll. I'll put up a community poll to just try to gauge time for when we talk. But like I said, this was 30 minutes. I'll be up like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. 45 minutes. We'll talk about the book and then go from there. And then, like I said too, this is our book club. So if it's a different way that you guys want to engage, you can drop it in the chat and let me know. Hit me up in the Discord and let me know, or hit me up on the email and let me know. But like I'm not locked into any one way of discussing this book or how the book club grows. So I'm here for it. Appreciate y'all pulling up and rocking with me. Y'all got any more comments? Any more comments about the books before I get ready to get out of here? You can drop your comments in the chat before I get ready to get out of here. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Ring that notification bell. Don't miss the next book club meeting. Like I said Sundays in between basketball. I'll try to get these done. But like 3 of them. So I'm going to get ready to read my next 3 chapters, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys think about the book. So let's get ready to get in the conversation. Y'all know what it is. Until next time, y'all stay tuned. Talk soon.